So today's topic now, will this matter in 5 years? The reason why I want to talk about this topic today now because we get one client, we be previous clients, we signed up recently again. And the clients, she come back, we ask them waiting happened to the last relationship, because usually we need to know that so we can know what to do moving forward, or if you should even sign up again. So we ask her this and she say, well, really work out, she explained why. We say, okay, fine. So she come sign up again. We come ask them, regular thing where we ask VIP members. VIP members go fit relate to this, they go fit understand what they talk about. We usually ask, uncompromisables and preference. We dey ask for uncompromisables and preference because we want to know where your mind is, so we go follow that route. So we come ask them like, what you want in a person this time, uncompromisables and preference, and it come day different from the last time we she sign up. So last time she get tribe where she said she no fit date from, but this time that tribe they included, like she fit date from this tribe. So we're like, okay, so why the change, And then she's like, last time it was her mom. They said, no, you can't date from this tribe. And even herself, she was like, okay, possibly can't date from this tribe. She already had a mentality about this tribe growing up. So now I'm like, what changed? And she's like, her mom said, you're 48, so you have to get married regardless of the tribe. So at this point, she no really date specific onto the fact that she no fit date that tribe. They open to all the tribes. And I said, if you did open before, first time, you feel don't find person from that tribe will make sense to you. As opposed to now where you don't come back 3 years later, it take them 3 years. So I come say, be like say maybe my VIP members don't understand when we ask them for uncompromisables and preferences. So I say make I do video, we'll go explain that. Now why I call them will it matter in 5 years? Because in 3 years time, this preference for tribe, no matter again, or this uncompromisable actually no matter again. So now why I won't talk about will it matter in 5 years. So for VIP members, we they ask you about uncompromisables and preference. Maybe una not really understand the difference and why we they do them. So I say make I do a video to explain why. So basically, uncompromisable be if you say, no matter what happens, I know fit do this, I know fit do this kind of thing, no matter what, come rain, come shine, 3 years time, 5 years time, I know fit do this. That's uncompromisable. And then preference now, I rather do this, but if I don't get that option, I fit do this one. Let me give you other terms. Let me see. So an example of uncompromisable would if person tell me say, make you chop frog or lizard, and I'm like, no, like in 5 years time, 3 years time, whether there's hunger, whether there's no food, I know fit chop up, like basically. So that's uncompromisable because it no go change, right? And then preference now, if person talk say, I get afang and eba for you, and I say, I don't really like afang and eba, I'd rather have rice and stew. So if you have rice and stew, I'll prefer that. But there's no rice and stew, if it's a situation where I'm really hungry, I fit take eba and I fit take eba and afang. So that one a preference, meaning that if I no really find the other one, I fit do with the other one, right? So that one are the difference between uncompromisables and preference. So now you suppose ask yourself, because if you give us something will be preference into your uncompromisables, we no go look that side, meaning you no go have those options. And some people don't know this, and the reason why I know they don't know this now, because sometimes we have situations where we've had situations where we've had a lady say, oh, I don't want someone that's been married before, I want someone that's never been married. And then she sees a profile and she's like, I'd like to give this a try. And I'm like, yeah, but he's been married before, he's divorced, and you said you don't want it, like it's uncompromisable, like you don't want that. So if you're willing to give it a try, so it means say no be uncompromisable, now actually preference. We don't see that one happen for men too as well. Men are a bit strict with age, so we don't see situations where men go say, I don't want this one, or now uncompromisable, and then at the end of the day you see being a preference, in the sense that they actually pick someone with that same thing. We've had a situation which a lot of you who follow this page remember. So we had this guy that was like, he didn't want to date someone that was a single mom, and he specifically said he could even be open to a single mom if she was previously married. And he gave his reasons that a single mom that wasn't previously married and has at least 2 kids, he sees her as loose. That was his opinion and that was his thought process. Say eventually we match up with single mother we never married before, So if you remember that story, remember he flew all the way to a different country to propose to her. It was really sweet. His idea at first, his uncompromisable was a single mother. And apparently, unknown to him, it was a preference, not an uncompromisable, because he ended up getting married to a single mother and they're still together till today. So we need to know the difference between what's uncompromisable to us and what's a preference to us. VIP members, this topic now for you, I fit sleep on top of this topic. I don't want to repeat time again. We did talk about them regularly. And make I run through the profiles, the details on the profiles where people, they look at to choose uncompromisables and preferences, right? So for age, men are a bit more strict with age, so that they pick age, say I no go fit dates outside this age bracket. We don't get one guy we say he no go fit dates past a particular age. It was like a 15-year difference. And I was like, can't you do 10? He's like, no. I'm like, okay. Like a couple of months later, he came back wanting 10. Now he's like, I can do 10. And then a couple of months later, oh, I can do 5. Because if it gets difficult, people tend to actually relax on certain things. So those things you relax on are actually preferences, not uncompromisables. And for women, we've seen a lot of them, be strict with, the marital status or even state of origin. All those things, you have to really ask yourself, like, are you really, really not going to date from this place or someone that has this? And there are some things where we did advise people about, right? Because we want the best for you as well. So men, we don't find some men we say they no go date banker. Like, I don't want date banker, so they don't focus on the career. Say they no want date banker. I say okay, well that one na preference, but to them they think say na uncompromisable. I'm like, okay, so what if you meet Amaka, she's an entrepreneur, and we match her with you, and you're okay with that, and you guys get married. Amaka, 2 years in the marriage, says she doesn't want to, be an entrepreneur anymore, and she wants to do a 9 to 5, and she decides that, what, I want to go into banking. What do you think will happen then? The marriage don't end, or you will continue. So things will fit change. You need to look at those things, because those things fit be uncompromisables or preference, but you need to look at those things, because if those things change, you need to ask yourself if it will still be okay, if everything will still be okay if those things change. Also, some people know if you differentiate between uncompromisables and preference. So now why I call this topic really matter in 5 years, because that question will help you know which be uncompromisable for you or preferences, right? So if you ask yourself, I don't want a guy where nowhere come from this state, and then you ask yourself, in 5 years time, will I care about this or not? If you ask yourself that question, if it help you answer if that thing now uncompromisable or if that thing not preference. If you feel like, this person is this age or their marital status, is this or that, if you ask yourself, will it matter in 5 years? You're likely able to give yourself an answer to help you decide if that thing is actually a preference or something you can compromise on. So now why I call this topic really matter in 5 years. So before you give us list VIP members, make you ask yourself that question. Whatever you write on your list, ask yourself, like, will this matter in 5 years? And be honest with yourself. It would help you to realize like things that should be on your list and shouldn't be. Just being able to differentiate between your needs and your wants, because there are things that we all want, it might not get, but you need to differentiate between your needs and your wants, things that are preferences, because this would make our job a whole lot easier. So basically, whenever you write your list of the kind of people you want to be with, ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years?